Hi, everyone. Welcome to Wharton Tech Talks. I'm Steph, your host for today. Today, we are joined by Laura Danforth. Laura is a director of global partnerships at Discord, a platform with over 150 million global monthly users, where you can talk over voice, video, and text with your friends and communities. There, she leads app developer partnerships, enterprise partnerships, and strategy and operations for the team. Prior to joining Discord, she worked in partnerships, product, and finance roles at Centipede Technologies, Future Family, and Silicon Valley Bank. Laura holds an MBA from the Wharton School. Hey, Laura, where are you calling in from?
Hi, Steph. Thanks for having me. I am calling in from Vermont. I actually just recently moved here.
Awesome. So back on the East Coast.
Back on the East Coast, loving the winter.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about what you do at Discord?
Yeah, absolutely. I have been at Discord for about 2.5 years now, and I've worn a lot of different hats over my time here. You mentioned some of them. I've done some of our large enterprise deals. I have and still continue to work on our payment partnerships. I lead strategy and ops for the partnerships team, but I think most relevant to this conversation is that I recently started leading our app developer partnerships. That is essentially supporting developers and brands that want to build on Discord.
Thanks for the overview. A lot of our listeners might be familiar with Discord as a place to chat and hang out with their friends, but they may not be as familiar with Discord from the developer perspective. What role do developers play in the Discord ecosystem?
Yeah, developers are a huge part of making Discord what it is. And a lot of people who have used Discord in the past have probably interacted with third-party developer tools on Discord and just not known it necessarily. One of the reasons that Discord is such a fun place to hang out and chill with your friends is because there's so many things that you can do on the platform. And many, in fact, most of those experiences are created by third-party developers. For example, if you come to Discord and you want to play a board game with your friends, or you want to watch a funny YouTube video, or you want to find the perfect meme to express yourself, all of those experiences are run by third-party developers. We're super lucky that we have such a vibrant and creative ecosystem of developers, and they every day kind of push the envelope of what's possible on Discord. And one of the great things about us is that we are an open developer platform. So anybody can be a Discord developer. And I truly mean anybody. I mean, I don't have a technical background and I could build a bot on Discord for my personal server if I wanted to. So it's pretty great.
Awesome. You started going into this, but could you share some cool, unexpected, and innovative ways that developers have created apps on the platform, especially with it being an open platform? And how have these apps impacted the platform's evolution?
Yeah, it's hard to describe different variety of apps because there are so many apps on Discord, and they do everything from helping you run and moderate your server to, again, like helping you express yourself and everything in between. Lots of gaming apps, lots of social apps, you name it, there's probably an app on Discord for it. Some of the kind of unique things that we've seen recently on the platform is we've started to see, and this has kind of been happening over the last couple of years, is we've really started to see developers being able to run full businesses on Discord through their use of apps, which is pretty unique. For example, developers might have a free app on Discord, but they start to charge for premium features for it. And this started a couple years ago, and it's been pretty amazing to see these developers get compensated for the value that they're providing to the platform. And even more amazing to see the users that want to support these developers. And it's kind of changed the way we've thought about the platform, and it really expanded our perception of what the platform could be. We actually recently launched a feature called premium app subscriptions on Discord, which actually allows these developers to natively collect payment from users. Previously, developers had to kick a user off platform if they wanted to collect payment from them. And now they can do that right on the platform, which reduces a lot of friction. It's better for users, better for developers. Again, it's not about the specific type of app, but just what developers have been able to do with the tools that we've provided them, which is really exciting. And we've definitely taken steps to help try to allow those developers to thrive on Discord.
That's really awesome that you've been able to expand these developer monetization initiatives. Have you gotten any reactions from real developers so far?
Yeah, we have. So we just launched this very, very recently. So we don't have too much to share at this point, but the reaction has been really positive. And we are continuing to build more tools. So 2024, expect more tools from us that will help developers thrive on Discord.
Mm-hmm. And With these developers that are monetizing through Discord now, are these like full-time Discord developers, or do they see creating apps on Discord just as a fun passion side project?
It's both, honestly. So we have some developers who they make their whole living by developing on Discord, by running their apps on Discord, and they have these professional businesses that are spun up around it. We also have the high school student who launches a bot and it's really popular and is just kind of doing this as a side gig. So we span the whole spectrum. The other thing that we've seen recently, which has been pretty awesome, is a lot of startups are actually leveraging Discord to basically drive product market fit for whatever it is that they're building. For example, they will launch an app that is maybe a portion of the functionality of what they're building or all of it on Discord, and then they use their Discord server to get real-time feedback from their users as they're using those apps on Discord. I think one great example of this that I can talk about, which is a name that many people may recognize, is Midjourney. Again, it's a pretty popular app, but Midjourney launched an AI image generator app on Discord, and they launched it on Discord before they launched it anywhere else. And they did an amazing job of using their Discord community of, in the beginning, it was just super fans to iterate on their product and get feedback. And so they would hold office hours in their Discord server. And as users are playing around with the app, they're listening to what they're saying and they're reading their comments in the Discord server. That's just another kind of unique way that folks have leveraged the tools we've built on Discord to find success for themselves.
That's amazing. Like, given Discord is a platform, anyone can use it as they wish. And so it's very cool to see like real companies using this as like a way to get feedback on their products and essentially do consumer research through Discord.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on to a hot topic these days, AI. AI has become a key part of strategy for many tech companies today. How have developers started to integrate AI into their Discord apps, and what role does AI play in enhancing user experiences?
Yeah, great segue with the Midjourney story. AI is super popular on Discord. We have over 150 million monthly active users today, and over 30 million of those users interact with an AI app every month on Discord, which is pretty phenomenal. And on the platform, there's everything from the Midjourneys, which is AI image generation, to AI chatbots, to AI language learning bots. There's AI moderation bots. I saw this bot the other day, which was pretty cute, where you can bring a famous person into your voice channel and tell them what to say. And so you can have Obama come into your voice channel and make fun of your friends, for example. The possibilities are endless and they're pretty fun. And I think what is special about AI on Discord is it's really what is special about Discord, which is Discord is a place where you can take a single player experience and make it multiplayer, which essentially means that something that you are doing by yourself, you can do it with your friends in Discord. For AI, rather than just interacting with ChatGPT on your own and asking ChatGPT to review something for you or come up with a funny prompt, you can do that with your friends in your server or in a voice channel or in your DMs on Discord. And that's, I think, why so many AI developers have flocked to Discord, because when you're being creative with your community and with your friends, it just adds this whole additional layer of fun to the process.
Yeah, I love that Discord adds that community aspect to AI experiences. What are some major challenges that Discord developers face? Would love to hear how you gather feedback from developers themselves and understand how Discord addresses this.
One of the things that Discord has been really intentional about over the years is our users' experience, particularly as it relates to advertising and marketing. If you've been on the Discord platform, then you know that there aren't any paid advertisements on the platform. We don't have any sort of like paid targeted recommendation engine or anything like that. That's really unique, but it does mean that discoverability can be a bit more challenging on Discord. Developers can't promote their apps on Discord in the same way that they might on, like, say, Facebook, for example. Because of that, their go-to-market strategy has to be a little bit more creative and I'm going to say scrappy. We talk to our developers all the time. So we run big servers and big communities where our developers live and hang out. We have whole teams built to support our developers. We're communicating with them a lot on Discord. We're seeing what they say off of Discord. And we know that discoverability has been an issue. And so one of the things that we actually did earlier this year is we launched the first Discord app directory. There have been third-party app directories off-platform for years, but we launched the first native one on Discord, where we can actually help users find great apps on Discord. I think that's been a huge win for our developers. And I think there's more of that coming. I know there's more of that coming in 2024. Not much I can share at this point, but I'm really excited for some of the tools that we're going to be launching in the near future that are going to help with this problem even more.
Gotcha. So on the app directory, will there be an opportunity, or is there one already, where developers can spotlight their apps and highlight that? Or
Yeah, so today the app directory is curated by Discord exclusively. And I don't have a magic crystal ball, and I can't tell you that that will always be the case. But what I can tell you is we will continue to do what we think is the right move for our users. I'll leave it at that.
awesome. How do developers get featured on the developer platform and spotlight their new apps that they're launching?
Yeah, so Discord today curates the app directory. We work with our partners and our developers to find apps that we think are super relevant for our users. And often we'll follow certain storylines based on what's trending and what's popular at the moment. And today it's a really, really helpful place for users to go and be able to see all of the really amazing apps that our developers have built.
So let's jump into career now. Did you always know that you wanted to work in tech? How did you decide on this career path and role?
Yeah, I definitely did not know that I always wanted to be in tech. When I was an undergrad, I was pre-med. I spent my senior year of undergrad doing genetic research on aging at a lab and thought I was going to go to medical school. I realized, luckily, before making the wrong career choice for myself, I was able to realize early on enough that one of the things that I really value in a career is being able to try lots of new things. I don't want to have the same job, the same function for my whole career. I want to be able to do lots of different things. And you've kind of seen that across my career, I think. I wouldn't say that I was intentional in working my way to tech by any means, but the career jumps I've made because I think really of two things. One, circumstance, and two, my interest in just learning about something else, honestly.
Gotcha. And like you said, you've worn a lot of hats in your career. You've worked in finance, moved to product, and then to partnerships. Could you walk us through how you decided on these pivots?
Yeah, it all comes down to like at that moment in time, what was the next thing that I was interested in learning? So when I decided I didn't want to go to medical school, and that's not to say that like my sister's a doctor and it's a wonderful career, but I just knew that I didn't want to have the same job for the rest of my life. I knew that I wanted a lot of variability in what I did. I went into finance because in my mind, it was kind of a hole for me. Like I didn't know a lot about the industry. I was super interested in learning about it, and I had an opportunity to work in it. And I took that opportunity. From there, the other steps I've made have been similar decisions where I just look around me and I say, what do I want to learn about next? Like, what experience do I want to have next? And then I just optimize for that. I wish I could sit here and tell you that I've been super strategic and I planned everything. But the reality is, I just did what felt right to me in the moment. And I just focused my career on learning and getting experiences rather than ending up at a certain destination.
Mm-hmm. Now that you're in a partnerships role, what hard and or soft skills do you think it takes for one to be successful?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think a lot of the skills you need in partnerships overlap with other functional areas a lot. And so you'll see a lot of people who've done other things that they can move into partnerships. I'd say probably the first one is listening and asking good questions. When you're doing partnerships as opposed to doing sales, the value exchange between the parties isn't always clear upfront. And oftentimes you have to discover what that value exchange is. You have to take into account not only what you want and what your company would be interested in doing, but what's the menu of things that the partner would be interested in doing, and how can you compensate them? In many ways, you're compensating them by providing some sort of value that's outside of monetary value. You really have to listen and you have to ask good questions. And there's just a lot of discovery. Being able to really narrow in on what it is the person across from the table from you wants, and then also what their company wants, because those aren't always the same thing. And you really got to read both of those things and be able to align that with what you want and what your company wants to form a successful partnership. So I think just listening, being able to ask good questions, being able to do that discovery is super important. I think part of that, I would say storytelling, making sure that you can effectively communicate ideas and get people excited around ideas. absolutely negotiating. So everyone, if you're a Wharton student listening, take your negotiation class. And I think the best thing that I got out of that class was practicing negotiations. The more you practice asking for what you want, the more comfortable you'll be doing it and the more confident you'll be doing it. And that's incredibly important in negotiations. I think having a really strong understanding of contracts and the main legal clauses that are in partnership agreements, if you can foresee some of those issues up front, then you can tackle them before they kind of blow up deals later down the road. So I think having a strong understanding of the legal aspect of partnerships is really important. And then last, I think I would say patience. When you're working in partnerships, your timeline is only half the battle. Your partner's timeline matters just as much. And partners are going to have different priorities. They're going to work on different timelines. And some of the best partnerships that we've launched at Discord were years in the making. Sometimes you can do quick partnership engagements, but some of the best ones just, they take a lot of time. And so really having that patience and being able to kind of weather those ups and downs of the partnership track, I think is really important.
Bunch of great advice there, and I love the distinction between the sales and partnerships role in particular. A lot of our listeners here are MBA students. Do you have any last advice for MBA students looking to break into tech as they navigate the first year internship recruiting process or also this full-time recruiting process?
Yeah, if you're looking to break into tech, as in you haven't been in the industry before, I think one of the best pieces of advice I can give is if you're feeling stuck or you're not sure how to market yourself in tech, find somebody that has a similar background to you that has done what you want to do, so broken into tech, and ask them and get their support. I know a lot of people who went from one industry into tech, and the person that ended up hiring them was somebody that had a similar background because they were able to understand their background and the strengths that it brought to it. So I think finding someone like that, and if you're a Wharton student, leverage the Wharton network. It's massive and amazing to find someone that really understands your background and can help you with that process. The other thing I would say is don't sell your background of not being in tech as a negative, sell it as a positive, because it really is in a lot of ways, rather than saying like, well, I know I haven't worked in tech for the last 5 years, but hire me because of XYZ. Be like, you should hire me because I haven't worked in tech in the last 5 years. And I worked in this other industry, and I'm going to come with all these fresh ideas and all these creative new ways of thinking that nobody else in your team is going to have. And because of that, I'm going to be a huge asset to you. So just understanding how to market your experience to really pique the hiring manager's interest, I think is important. And just remember that, especially if you're a Wharton student, whatever you've done has been remarkable to get you to where you are, and use it as a positive.
Super helpful. All right, well, let's jump to some closing questions. Let's do some rapid fire Q&A. First is, what's your favorite Discord server and app?
Okay, it's hard to choose, but if I'm being honest, my favorite Discord server is actually a private server that I'm in with some friends. It's a book server. It's kind of like a book club, and we exchange books ideas. We talk about book theories. We give recommendations, and it's wonderful. And I think one of the reasons I love it so much is because it really just underlines the magic of Discord, which is we like to say that taking a single player experience and making it multiplayer. Reading is often a very individual activity, but when I jump in Discord and talk to my friends on this book server, I feel like I'm doing it with my group of friends, and I love that. And so I think that's my favorite server. SoundCloud app is probably one of my favorites. It's one of the ones I use the most, I'd say. It's hard to pick a favorite app, but I'm going to go by number of times I use it, and so it would have to be the SoundCloud app.
What's a non-negotiable you have as part of your morning or night routine?
Spending time with my daughter. I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but if I don't get to see her just a little bit in the morning and night when I'm home, just kind of ruins my day. Spending a little bit of time with her.
Love it. You mentioned liking the negotiations class at Wharton, but what was another really impactful class that you took during your MBA that maybe you didn't expect to be that?
Yeah, this is going to be maybe a weird answer, but one of the classes that I actually found was most interesting and potentially impactful, not in my work life, but in my professional life, was I took a housing markets class. I don't remember the exact name, but it was about housing markets. And it was just really informative and insightful in terms of how to value homes and renting versus buying. And my husband and I own 2 houses, and so that's played a role in my life. And then I think, honestly, for impactful, and this is probably an unexpected answer, but the startups class at Wharton definitely left an impact on me. especially the way that you apply frameworks in that class to help you come up with creative ideas is something that I still use today.
And to wrap it up, what's your bold prediction in how you see Discord continuing to evolve its relationship with developers in, say, the next 5 to 10 years?
I already touched on this a little bit, but I really think it's this thing that we're seeing. Developers are building their own businesses, like full ecosystems on top of Discord. Discord, I think, is going to continue to launch tools to support developers to thrive on our platform. And so I think we're just going to see more and more of these ecosystems living on top of Discord. And that makes me super excited to do my job every day.
Awesome. Well, that wraps up our time for today. Thanks so much, Laura, for joining us. And we look forward to following Discord's growth in the future.
Thanks so much for having me, Steph. Appreciate it.